Hello, everybody. Great Saturday morning to you. Hope all is well and you have a good, fun, enjoyable, relaxing weekend planned. And I hope you have some time planned to be in God's house worshiping as well. I'd invite you to Poplar Grove Baptist if you don't have a church family. Would love to worship with you and love to see you tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. And in the meantime, we'll go back to the 119, Psalm 119, as we continue to plug along in this lengthy psalm. And we'll be picking up in verse 122 today. Psalm 119, verse 122. And again, we are in the 16th section. The 16th, if you will, 16th verse, if you will. And the psalmist has kind of reached his wits' end, I guess is the way we would put it, when he's in a position where he feels like those who are attacking him are winning, and he doesn't see any way he's going to be victorious. Again, we have learned through the psalm that we don't know who the author is, and we don't know the setting. But what we have learned from the psalm itself is he's being attacked on two fronts. He's being attacked by others who claim to be followers of God. And it appears when we read it that what their problem is they don't like his devotion to the Lord. That his devotion, he is so devoted to God that he's making them look bad. And so they don't like it. And then obviously those who are not followers of God, they don't like him because of his commitment to be obedient to the Word of God. And so he finds himself here again in a situation where it appears to him that he's losing, that God has not responded, and that he is being overwhelmed. And we looked at verse 121 yesterday, and he where he just says, I've done right. As he says, I've done judgment and justice. And so I've done right. I've lived according to your word. And so deliver me. Now in verse 122, an interesting verse. When we look at this one, he says, be surety for thy servant for good. Let not the proud oppress me. Now, I don't know if you notice it or not, but there's something different about this verse from any other verse in this psalm. This is the only verse where he doesn't some some word to describe the word of God. For example, if you look in the next verse, he calls it the word of thy righteousness. 124, the statutes. 125, testimonies. 126, law. 27's commandments. 128's precepts. And all through the word, all through this psalm, he has used um, various words to synonyms to describe the word of God. And I believe there's actually 10 different ways that he labels the word of God. This verse, he doesn't use any. And I think that leads us to a couple of conclusions here. And I think the simplest one is, and the most important one is this. All through this psalm, what we have seen was a man who was being attacked, a man who was facing his adversary, and at every turn, he was going to the Word of God, and he was calling on some section, some promise of the Word of God. He was depending on those testimonies, those precepts, and he was going to those. He has, at this point in this verse, he goes not to the Word of God, but directly to God Himself. He goes straight again to the Lord. And when he does, he asks God to give him a promise. He asks God to give him his word that he was going to be okay. He asked God for surety. He's saying, I want, a guarantee. I want your word to that I'm going to be good. It was like honoring a debt or a pledge that he was asking God to make, and so he again he was in a position where he had become so downtrodden, so overwhelmed that he needed a personal guarantee from God. He needed to hear from heaven itself that these proud men would not be able to overcome him. And that's, I think that's a normal response for us when we've been beaten so much, when we've been had so much come against us, that we look for assurance from the Lord. And I think this verse, if we don't learn anything else, I think one of the great lessons that we walk away from this verse with is that it is all right then to ask God for that assurance of His security, of His love, of His power, of His presence when we are defeated, when we are overwhelmed, when we're discouraged, and it feels like there's no light at the end of the tunnel, no hope. It's okay to talk to God about it. And that's one of the, and I've said that numerous times as we've come through the book of Psalms. I think one of the greatest lessons we take from this wonderful book is as we see the various psalmists pouring out their heart to God, sharing their burdens with Him, and reaching out, looking to Him for counsel, for help. That we learn that it is okay to go to God and to pour out our heart. And so, really, if we make it through all 150 Psalms, and of all the things that we hear and all the things we read, if you learn that one, I will be content. I will think I will be satisfied that our purpose has been accomplished. If we learn that we can go boldly before the throne, just as this psalmist has. And so today, this weekend, let me encourage you. Let me be a word of encouragement to you. That whatever battle you're facing, whatever it is that has you thinking, there's no hope, I want you to know that it's okay to talk to God. It's okay to tell God what's on your heart, and it's okay to ask God for assurance and relief. That it's all right to share with God the burdens of your heart. If you learn that lesson out of the book of Psalms, you will have made major headway in your spiritual life. All right, have a great day. Don't forget you can talk to God about anything, and we'll see you back here Monday morning.